ISO Wendy's, where y'all from?
ISO Wendy's.
Like, my husband thinks that, I don't know what he thinks, honestly. I think it's so messed up that there's not a legit space for wives, partners to just like talk smack, talk crap, talk shit. And I want to see how much makeup I can get done in a 10-minute situation. Anytime I talk to a beauty person, I'm like, what's your out the door look? What can I do in 10 minutes? And they're like, well, no, like a glam situation takes longer than 10 minutes. I'm like, well, all I have is 10 minutes because I'm a mom and I have stuff to do and I'm already late. So I'm going to try to do whatever I can get done in 10 minutes. Maybe it'll be a full situation that I can then go out and pick up the kids or just like take a picture on Instagram. I don't know. All right. So I'm about to do my brows, but okay. So here's the deal. We have a house guest. I've never done my makeup by looking at my phone camera. We're not house guest people, but the reason why we have a house guest is because my husband had a friend that he recommended for a job, and we live in Texas, and his friend was in New York. They met in Los Angeles. They both got laid off from the same company in LA. Shortly after my husband got laid off, he found a similar position with the airline, so we moved to Texas, and his friend moved to New York and was just like staying with his family and doing family stuff and working there. And so my husband recommended him for a job. He got hired. He moved to Texas. He was like, I need a place to stay for a little while, until I like get situated. And then within like 2 weeks, maybe after his start, like COVID-19 kind of like swept our country. And since they work in the airline industry, like it's kind of up in the air about their future with the company and just the company's future. Well, I don't know if the company's future is up in the air, but just people are just nervous about like their jobs. And so I guess that's why he's still staying in our place. So let's see. Let me tell you, I am 35. My husband is 38. This man is 32, living in a house with 2 kids in a pandemic. And I'm like, get out of our house. But I get it. He came from New York, so like, where would he actually go? It's like New York is like, a hotbed or a hot zone or whatever. So I get it, I guess, but it's still, and I don't want it to. Am I a jerk for saying that I think he should leave? I don't know. Like, you tell me. But it's really just making me feel like a prisoner in my own home, and everybody already feels kind of jacked up right now because we're like being told that we can't leave the house or we shouldn't leave the house unless we're doing like essential stuff. So I think that's what, it's exacerbating our situation. So I really want him to leave.
Where I'm from, tell them this is New York. We from the home of the biggie, people blowing they ciggies, and these girls going wild cause they flashing they this litty. Watch your steps cause these blocks be grew up on that bad boy in 96 with Diddy. Take a walk, come with me, let me show you.
And I think there is a space for you to, have grievances that you want to share about your partner, and, them not, and it be okay. But what I've found when I'm talking to my single friends, and they're like my best friends, so that's like even harder, is that I don't feel like I have the space to say, sometimes I'm like annoyed as hell with my husband, and here's why, but it doesn't necessarily mean that I want to divorce my husband. You know what I mean? And so that's why I need you all. I need you. You guys are my people. You're going to be my tribe to help me get through all of this, like this life that we're in right now. Okay, so I guess I laid that foundation. Now we have this house guest. I really want him to leave. But we're in a pandemic, so I guess I understand what the heck is going on. I'm not that oblivious to like, his needs. The mistake that we made is we let somebody into our home without setting parameters. So we didn't say, and my husband and I, we did not come to an agreement. I just thought that it was understood, but it was not understood. Don't ever think that something is understood. Like, be explicit about it, especially if it's like bringing somebody else into your home when you have kids and you have like a whole vibe. And me and my husband are already like super weird when we like have guests in our presence. Like, it just changes our whole dynamic. I don't know if it's like a zodiac situation. He's a Gemini, I'm a Libra, but our vibe is already so different whenever we have a house guest or just around people. And so it's just really throwing us off. We never said, hey, this is how long you can stay. Because we should have said, no matter what, no matter if the world ends, you can only stay with us for 2 weeks or a month. But I guess my husband didn't indicate that. I think he said something like, yeah, man, you could crash with us. You can. And so that's so ambiguous. And then we have a pandemic that we really didn't know that it was going to be this big. I guess we all should have known. We saw what was going on in China, but just, what can I say about that? So now I'm ready for this guy to leave. I feel like I can't even be like talk freely in my own home. Our vibe is like totally thrown off, and I'm just ready for him to go so that me and my husband can kind of get back to our normal situation. Yeah.
You will really go down. Fiends on the corner, every hood got a deli or crowns. Cops pull us over, it don't matter if you black or you brown. City never sleeps, this the place that where hip hop was found. Playground parks with the trees and the cars. Brownstone buildings with the kids on the porch. Murals on the walls for the.
That's the cool thing about social media. Sometimes you feel like, I might not know these people personally. You don't know me personally, but we can still connect. I don't know if I'm doing this right at all. Maybe tomorrow I'll talk about my need to wax my beard off myself because this facial hair, like everything's hairy. My armpits are hairy. My legs are hairy. I just need to like get my whole life together. How are y'all surviving during COVID? That's like the real deal of what's going on with us. Is I really am ready for our house guest to leave. He's not like a bad person, but even the best of house guests need to leave. He's actually really kind to our kids, but it's stuff like, I want to walk around in my t-shirt with just my underwear, and I can't do that in my own home. And somebody said it best. They said, I feel really bad for anybody right now that's quarantined with someone that they don't feel comfortable with. And by comfortable, I mean like your like super close family where you can just roll out of bed with boogers in your nose and eyes and be like, hey, this is me. And that's where I'm at right now. But what about y'all? How are y'all living during this quarantine?
That we lost, bodegas on the corner, let me see what's in store. So,
oh my gosh. You guys tell me, did I like completely mess this up? So clearly I'm still learning as I'm talking to you guys, you all. And what else am I learning about myself? I'm learning that I'm a terrible homeschool teacher. I think that teachers are amazing. I always thought that teachers were amazing. But I think everybody in the world is realizing that we suck as teachers for our kids. So
Liberty, we holding up the torch. If they ask where I'm from, tell them this is New York. I look around as I'm viewing the city. Skyscrapers and bridges, bright lights, fast life, Manhattan living. Cross over downtown, welcome to the.
You guys, can you relate to what the heck I'm talking about right now? Because I think it's so messed up that there's not a legit space for wives, partners to just like talk smack, talk crap, talk shit. And your single friends are like, now that I'm telling you what's going on in my life, do you like at least feel like you appreciate your husband more that you have a husband? It's not that I don't appreciate my husband. That's like the annoying part that I feel like people without long-term partners, they don't understand. We're not saying we don't appreciate them, but they still do like crazy ass shit. Like have some not stranger because they've known each other for years, but they weren't like best friends. Like have this guy in our house that's throwing off our whole dynamic, just being like an overall, like my husband thinks that, I don't know what he thinks, honestly, because for this weekend, I feel like I did the majority of the child rearing over the weekend. And so I want to know, like, what's the dynamic of the parenting percentage? Like, if it's the weekend, who wakes up and gets the kids? Who's cooking for the kids? Are the husband and wife, mom and dad in the same room doing all this child rearing together? Or is it like a tag you're it situation? Because in my household, it's more of like a tag you're it. Just realized maybe I need maybe that's it. I'm missing mascara. So I think it's like the tag your it situation. Like, all right, I'm about to go get a Starbucks. You watch these kids because I am exhausted. And I kind of, it didn't really matter. We have like such a huge age difference that we had gotten to a point where Chloe was like, you know, a big girl. And so she didn't need as much one-on-one attention. So it wasn't as draining. And so I forgot what it felt like to be with a baby / toddler and feeling like I need like relief, or I want somebody to be with me doing this with me instead of like a tag out. Because sometimes when my husband is with the kids, I still want to be in the room too, like laughing, enjoying what's going on. How are you guys doing this together? Or is that just a dumb expectation? Like, do we not need to be doing this together? Like, can we do it separately? How do I articulate it so that it doesn't come off as attacking? Or do I just chill and wait until the toddler, our baby, grows up a little bit more, and then I won't even feel like this because he'll be easier. Like, they'll just go out and do stuff, and it won't be like, who's taking the baby? Somebody go get the baby. Who's feeding the kids? You know, the kids can like kind of fend for themselves a little bit. So do I just need to like wait a little bit more to get over this hump that maybe everybody is feeling, but I'm just not talking to people? No, people aren't talking about the parenting percentages. Like, who's doing what? Are we doing this together? Are we doing this apart? So, all right. So I started out with no makeup on. Now, I think this took me 10-ish minutes, maybe 12. But I think this is an okay, like, going out for the day situation. I don't know if the outside light is making this look better, because I feel like I look good. I look good. Good. I'm old, so that song was like popping when I was like going out or whatever. Do y'all know that song? All right. I just really want to connect so much with moms, wives, women, and other, I guess, co-parents. I just want to feel like I'm connecting because I need this right now. Maybe you do too. All right, bye.